Hi guys, welcome back to Make That Sea Change. Paul here again with you. Today we're going to talk about outsourcing and more importantly about how to outsource content creation for your website. So we work on our websites and we might want someone else to do it. Outsourcing is actually quite a important aspect as you start to build an online business. I mean, there becomes so much to do that in time you're going to need help. Now, today we're going to talk about all those things. We're going to talk about why you might want to outsource, what to consider before you outsource, and then once you actually outsource, what you need to provide and what you need to do. It's very important that you're quite clear on what it is you're doing, because obviously you're about to spend money. And if you're about to spend money, especially if your site may not be making much money yet, if you're about to spend money, you need to make sure that you're getting the best bang for your buck. So let's have a look at why we would outsource. There's basically three or four reasons that someone might want to outsource. One is purely because you're not getting your posts out as often as you'd like. Now, as you build a website, there's obviously the writing of the post. We've talked about this a bit in the past where we want to make our websites viable. We need to get them ranking on our search engines, which means we need to be writing content, continuously releasing content, publishing content, promoting on social media, driving traffic to our website so that people can see our posts, get all their problems solved, which is why we write our posts, to solve problems, get all their problems solved, and then click on our affiliate links and purchase from us. So that's the end game we want. And if you've got so much that you're doing that you're just not getting as much content out as you need, then maybe you need to look at outsourcing some of the information that you've got. Another reason you might want to outsource is that you don't know how to do something. So, a very, very good way of driving traffic to your website and a very, very, very good way of making sales is the creation of an email list. So that means you put something in your site that attracts people to enter their email address. You can then send them emails weekly, monthly, daily, whatever you choose, which drives them back to your website, which gets them clicking your affiliate links because you're direct marketing to them via email. And they've wanted you to do it because they've opted in. Now, setting all that up takes quite a bit of time, especially if you don't understand what it is you're looking at. Social media is another one where it can take such a long time to set something up, especially if you don't really understand how to do it. Social media marketing is a science unto itself. So if you're not totally sure about what it is you're looking at, then you may need to get someone else to do it. And the idea behind that is, and we'll talk about this a bit more later on, we talk about return on investment, is that if it's going to take you 8 hours to do something that someone else can do for you in 2 hours and do a better job at it, why not do that? 8 hours is a lot of time to waste if you're not entirely sure that you're going to get it right at the end anyway, especially if you've got to learn the software that you're using, things like email autoresponders and the like can take quite a bit of getting used to. So if you're not sure what it is you're looking at, then maybe you do need to think about outsourcing that. And another one is that life gets in the way. I mean, honestly, we do, a lot of us in the affiliate marketing space and the online business space do it so that we can work from home. I'm working from home here at the moment. I've got a smoker going out the back and the alarm's about to go off. But we're working from home, which is fantastic. I love it. I can go for a walk to the beach and do whatever I want. I can get my work done on my laptop. However, stuff gets in the way. Now, without going too much and boring you with my personal life, we have friends turning up from this afternoon. So while I'm here, I've got to get my work done, get the house clean. My wife's down working in our Pilates studio. So there's lots of stuff that I've got to do, and life just gets in the way. Children, family, and the like. It just does. You can't help it as much as you try and block that stuff out. So that can be another reason that you need to outsource, because you're just not getting the time through the other stuff. And the last thing, a lot of us don't want to admit this, you may just lose interest in writing. You might still love your business, you might love your website, but if you sit down and think, oh God, the last thing I feel like doing this morning is writing out emails or writing a post or doing something like that, maybe it's time to outsource till you get that mojo back. Because if you do a half-baked job at it, you're not going to get the results that you're looking for anyway. So again, you're wasting your time. So there are reasons that you may want to outsource. There are other reasons. You may just be making good money and decide, well, I want to work on something else, so I'm just going to outsource my website and let someone else tick it over for me, and I'll just continue to make the affiliate marketing money. There's a lot of reasons why you might want to outsource. Just be clear on those reasons. What you need to think about. Now, this is quite an important factor, is a lot of us will make the mistake of just saying, okay, well, I'm going to outsource, I'll just get someone to write all my posts. And that way I can take the time to learn the autoresponder, I can do my social media, I can do all that, and then someone just churn out all the posts and send it back to me. What if writing is your strength? What if you are absolutely the best at writing, but have no idea about social media? My problem with social media is I forget to do it. I've got a Facebook page and I just forget to put stuff on there. So for me, outsourcing my writing is a waste of time, because if I'm doing it to save time, outsourcing my social media, my post writing is a waste of time, because I'm not going to do the social media properly anyway. I might as well spend the money to get someone to do my social media profiles and my social media marketing, and sit and write the posts if that's what I'm good at. So think about what you're best at. Think about what takes you the most time. Again, if it takes you 8 hours to write out a single email for your autoresponder, get all your triggers set up, get your tags set up, get the day intervals and all that set up, and it takes you hours and hours and hours to do that because you don't really understand what you're doing, get someone else to do it. They'll do a better job anyway and do it in a third of the time. And the other thing is, if you're going to do something new and you're not quite sure how to do it, ask yourself if it's something you really need to know. Again, social media is a good example of that. If you're in a niche where you need to do a lot of visuals and you need to do an Instagram account or Pinterest or something like that, and you just don't know how to use it, maybe you don't need to learn. Maybe you can just pay someone an hour a week to do up all your Pinterest stuff for the week, or 2 hours a week to do up all your Pinterest stuff for the week. They'll schedule a post, so every day a new Pinterest pin's coming out. That's churning over, that's bringing traffic to your website. It costs you 2 hours, and that's 2 hours that you spent writing posts or doing something else. So again, it's something to consider, that it may not necessarily be the outsourcing of your posts that you need to do. Now, I suppose one elephant in the room here, obviously, is that, and it goes back to why you would outsource, is most people will say, okay, well, I don't have the time to do this, or I'm no good at doing Pinterest, but my site's not making any money. If it's not making money and you can't afford to outsource, you don't outsource. You just head down, bum up, get into it and get it done yourself. Have a look through this post, because I've got some things in here that you can consider when you're doing your own stuff anyway, which might help you. But have a think about if you do have some money that put aside that you can use to outsource, even if your site's not making money. It might help you make money quicker. And that's what takes us into the next step that we need to talk about, is return on investment. Return on investment is something that every business in the world looks at. So if I'm going to go and sell running shoes. Now, an example of this is, I have a good friend of mine in the US, and in the US, it's a lot cheaper to buy running shoes than what it is here in Australia. A few years ago, we sat down and went, oh, okay. When I say sat down, we're in a bar somewhere in San Diego, and we sat down and we decided that because the Nikes that I bought from Ross down the road cost me $15, we were going to go and buy as many pair of them, import them into Australia, and sell them here and make a fortune. Once we looked at it and worked out with the exchange rate, which wasn't the best at the time, postage from the US to Australia, we'd have to split our postage up so we didn't trigger any, taxman if you're listening, I'm sorry, but if we did so we didn't trigger any import taxes and all that sort of stuff. We worked out that based on all those extra costs and what we could sell them for here in Australia, we're going to make about $5 per pair of shoes. Now, our return on investment for our time and all that sort of stuff just wasn't worth it. That made it about, what's that, a 25% return on investment. Not worth it. Just not worth it for our time. So return on investment is what you're getting back based on the time that you've spent. Now, this is where you have to think about it in a couple of different ways. If your return on investment is increased traffic, so you might be doing a social media promotion and you're paying someone to do a big social media run for you so that they are promoting your website on social media every day with new pictures and new content, asking people to sign up. You might do a little competition to get people, grab more followers, get more subscribers, all that sort of stuff. If that's what you're doing, then you need to be able to quantify return on investment. So you should have some sort of idea that if you get 100 visitors to your site and on average 10 of them purchase, you're going to know that if your social media platform is bringing you an extra 100 visitors, you should make an extra 10 sales. So if a sale is worth $20 to you and you pay $200, how many sales do you need to bring in to make your money back first, which is obviously 100% return on investment, and then increase that incrementally through as you make more sales. So if you've paid out $200 for this person to do that and you're making $10 per sale, that's 20 sales you need to make before you break even. So you need to make sure that it's going to bring the traffic and the sales in to make that return on investment possible. Now, the other aspect of this obviously is if your site isn't making money, but you have decided to spend the money to get someone to do that, to increase traffic to your site, then you're not going to have a financial return on investment that you can really calculate because you're not making sales yet. So if you make any sales, obviously it's working. So then you would look at it in your own time. So if my time is worth X amount of money, and you can give yourself a figure of, I can say that I'm worth $1 million an hour. No one's ever going to pay me that, but you're not going to give you a return on investment. If you go to a solid thing, and again, if you write a post that you know makes you $200 worth of sales a week, then that's where you can better count your time. So your social media campaign is not going to make you increase sales, but if you're not doing that, it means you're writing posts. And for every 2 hours it takes you to write a post, you're getting $200 worth a week coming back in on average. You know that your time then, say it's worth $100 an hour because it takes you 2 hours to write a post, then your return on investment is going to be way better for that person there. So that's what you're looking at for your return on investment. It can either be increased traffic, which you then convert to average sales. It could be increased sales, which obviously counts for itself, and it could be personal time. So is your time better spent elsewhere, can make you more money elsewhere, or you can get things done more effectively or efficiently elsewhere compared to what you're doing what you're doing it now. And the last thing to consider there is, what do you really want from your outsourcing? You might say, oh yeah, I just want to get more posts written. Why? Why do you need more posts written? Go back to your return on investment. Is it more traffic? Is it more sales? If it's purely around sales, you're going to want to outsource something that's going to make you more sales. So it might be outsourcing your email autoresponders so that you're direct marketing to these people to increase the chance of getting sales in. If it's to increase traffic, you might hire someone to set up a YouTube channel for you and process and manage all the videos that you shoot, so that you're increasing traffic and subscriptions and things like that. So think about what you want, why you're doing it, and then what do you want to get done. So why are you doing it? Increase traffic. What's going to increase my traffic? Do some research. What are the best ways to increase traffic? Social media, emails, better rankings in Google. So it might be hiring someone to do SEO on your page. If you're not getting the traffic just through the generic, through your organic SEO processes to increase your rankings on the search engines, then it might be just hiring someone to do your SEO for you. You may not, getting someone to write 100 posts is useless if you're not ranking on Google. So there's some of the things why are you doing this? What exactly is it you want to be done, and what are your outcomes? So what are your goals? Set your goals. Okay, I want this promotion I want to increase my traffic by 200 people a month. If I can increase my traffic by 200 people a month, the average stats based on my research will tell me that I'm going to get 10 sales a month. So that's what you're starting to think about, and that is how you're going to structure your outsourcing. So what is it you want to do? What problem are you trying to solve for yourself? What are your targets? What are you best at? And can you hire your weaknesses? So if I'm no good at social media and I'm good at post writing, why would I hire someone to do post writing when I'm no good at social media? So that's what you need to think about when you think about outsourcing. I've written here, you can read in the post about where you can find the people: Upworks, Fiverr, Craigslist, Seek, Blogging Pro, what have we got? Media Bistro, Flexi Jobs. There's heaps and heaps of places out there. Just do a search for freelance writers, freelance content creators. As I said, have a look in the post. Okay, so what do we need to provide? Excuse me. So we've decided we want to outsource. We've found our people that we're going to outsource to. What do we need to give them? Well, the more you give them, the better job they're going to do. One of the tricks to outsourcing is almost making it seamless. So if you are outsourcing blog posts, you want them to write almost as if it's you. So if someone reading post to post to post to post shouldn't really be able to tell the difference between who's writing it, whether it's you writing it or whether it's somebody else writing it. So you want to provide as much information as you can. In time, if you find yourself a good writer on Upworks or Fiverr or anything like that, and you build a relationship with them, in the end, you'll just be saying, hey, John, I just want 5 reviews on products within my niche, and off they go and write them, and it just flows through. But at the beginning, you need to provide them with the following information. It's all in the post, so I'm not going to read it word for word for you, but a website outline. What is your website? How's the branding work? What's the style of it? Is it a formal one? Is it a news site? Is it casual? Is it for gamers? Is it for mums? That has a bearing on how you write and what you do. So if you're writing for, I was speaking to somebody the other day who writes in mothers and babies, and she was telling me that she writes empathetically. So, I know what you're going through. I understand you're tired, and that, raising babies is hard. This is how I can help you. That's great in the baby, but in mine about make money online, I don't need to empathise. I just need to give you facts and, know that I'm on a journey with you and support you, which I do, and always try and make that. But the empathy part, and I hope that's clear. I hope that doesn't sound patronising, but that's what I'm, that's based on the audience you're aimed at. And obviously, clearly, you need to provide information on your niche. So what is it that you are providing? What is it that you're writing about? What is it that you're talking about? Who is your audience? Sorry, I've just noticed a problem there. Who is your audience? What are you writing about? And what is your niche? So you need to be crystal clear on what your niche is. It's very easy to drift outside your niche and if your niche is about dog grooming and all of a sudden have them writing about grooming cats and grooming guinea pigs. Useless, because it's not within your niche. Then you provide them with a style guide. Style guides are critical because they work to do with your niche and in your branding and your site vibe and all the stuff we just talked about. But it also gives them a very clear understanding of how they need to write. And this is how you can get people to write like you do. So what fonts to use. Now, some of this stuff is actually already managed for you via the website theme. So some of it you won't need to worry about. But what fonts do you have? What heading styles do you want them to use? Paragraph structure. I look at some posts and people write 1 sentence per paragraph. I personally don't like that, but a lot of people do it because it's very effective on mobile phones. I like 2 or 3 sentences per paragraph. So that's how I write. So in my style guide, I'd have that 2 or 3 sentences per paragraph. That also determines how you write your paragraphs as well. So you can write an introductory sentence, a middle sentence, and an ending sentence in the paragraph that takes you to the next one, and so on and so on and so on. If you're writing 1 sentence per paragraph, you can sort of make it a bit choppier, which works sometimes. What images you want, how you want your images to be, whether they are where they're taken from a certain style. You can say what images you don't want on there. So if you're writing, if your site is about CBD oil or medical marijuana, for example, which is hugely popular at the moment, a very popular niche, you may specify that you have no images of children in your post because it's illegal for children to have to access those sort of products. If you're writing about a baby site, you might be saying, well, I don't want sporty guys, I don't want people fishing, I want mums and bubs and, nice, gentle pictures. The baby's always got to be smiling, so on and so forth. If you've got buttons and calls to action in there, so click here, click there, how do you want them to be managed? Provide them if need be. Same with affiliate links. Provide the affiliate links, how you want them to be done. If you do it going from Amazon, do you just want word links or anchor text links? Do you want the graphic or do you want banners? So specify all that in your style guide, and also the SEO requirements. So do you want them to write it so they can internally link, which means they need to know your website a bit more. Do you want them to external link? How are they going to do their tags? What are the alt tags they put in images and things like that. It's all SEO based, and they need to know that when they write. On top of that, when you actually go to give them the job, you need to specify a little bit more. So things like what the product is, if you're giving them a specific product, the details and spec location, affiliate program information, the word count and writing style. The writing style can differ between post to post. So the writing style, maybe again who it's aimed at, the audience, and the content topic. So for example, in my post here, I've written, what it is. So how it works, the features, pros and cons, costs, and my thoughts and recommendations. So they're the headings you want them to fill out. Again, that brings it into line with how you write, and then they can fill out those headings. SEO as per the style guide. Outline how the editing is going to work, so what media they present it to you in, what your turnaround times will be. So if you send me the work, I'll send it back the next day, because don't forget, content creators want to get their stuff through as quickly as possible because then they get paid. They don't want you editing for 5 weeks. They want it real time. So what your editing requirements are, how they can present it to you so you can get it back as quick as possible, and so on and so forth. And then obviously your posting and publishing requirements. So how are they going to publish? Are you going to give them access to your website editor so they can publish, or are they going to present it to you in a notepad or in a Word document or something, and you're going to publish it from them? Or can they send you a WordPress link or something like that? That's what you'll need to do, and that's what your instructions need to cover. So they should be as clear as crystal clear. I was going to say clear as mud. Should be crystal clear on what your expectations are. The more information you give them, the more chance you've got of A, reducing your editing, B, getting what you want, and C, meeting your return on investment targets that we talked about before. So all those things are quite crucial. And the last thing you might want to talk to them about is the metrics, which is your return on investment. So you might say to them, right, this program, this platform I'm working on, I want you to do an email list. I want you to do an email campaign for me. I'm aiming for 50% open rate. Because anyone who's worth their while in that sort of area will think, okay, well, if we're going to get them to open, I'm going to really need to work on the heading. So it's more about getting them to open than on the sale. If it's saying, right, I want to increase my sales on this product by this amount because it's a high ticket item, we're going to promote a high ticket item, you're going to do it in an email campaign, a social media campaign, you might be saying, I want to sell 5 high ticket items. Your payment to them isn't prevalent on that, but that's what you're looking for. And some people won't tell their writers that. I guess the reason you might is because they might turn around and say, that's impossible. In my experience, you're not going to do it like this. Maybe we can do it this way. So it might be saving you and them time and money if you're clear with your metrics up the front. Again, it's up to you how deep you go into this, but excuse me, my recommendation would be to at least touch on it so they're aware of what your expectations are, because they can work to them, they can respond back to you, you can report back to them on how it went. And because trust me, in this game, if you can find a good solid writer who knows your expectations, know how to meet them and all that sort of stuff, that's half your battle won. Oh, sorry, my nose got itchy. Okay guys, so thanks for that. As I say, outsourcing, determine why you want to do it. Be very clear on why you want to do it and the reasons for it. Be clear on what your outcomes are. Make sure that you know exactly what you're looking for, what your expectations are, what your return on investment is. And then once you find somebody through Upworks or Fiverr or anything like that, make sure that you have a clear understanding of what you're going to give them, so they have a clear understanding of what they need to do to make sure that they are meeting your expectations and giving you the best opportunity of meeting your targets and not having to edit too much and value for money. Okay guys, thanks for that. Hope that was helpful. As usual, please click on the likes below. Please subscribe to my channel. Any comments, any questions, please don't hesitate to comment below or send me an email or however you can contact me, and I will definitely get back to you. Thanks guys, hope you're having a great day. Bye.